Peace YouTube, this is FleurBrun coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. Check on in. Hopefully it works this time. I apologize about the last video being taken down. You can, I have to re-upload it because YouTube, your amazing censored platform, likes to, dock people and do things when subjects are talked about. So I might do another live streaming of the last video. So of the Ark of the Covenant. So if you haven't seen that, I will re-upload it. Maybe I'll do it after this and see if I can do another live streaming of it, and then I'll just put it on my channel. So if you want to join me on Ko-fi or Patreon, you can. You'll be able to view the videos. I had to do that because, like I said, they do crazy things on my channel. So check on in. This is going to be a fun one. So I'll wait until a few of you check in. I hope everybody's well. Is everybody doing okay? Yeah. I hope my camera's oriented appropriately. Okay. Peace, peace, peace. Okay. Check on in. Hey, On. Hello, hello. Hey, Star Rose. I'm well, gratefully. Okay. I'll wait until 500 come in, because when I start, I don't know if the video will stay up. Hey, Melissa. I don't know if the video will stay up, so I prefer that I start when everybody comes in, so I don't have to restart. So check on them. I hope everybody's well in this mad simulation. The simulation's at reset, so it's gonna be bonjour, bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va? Ça va, Joseph? Hello, Joseph. Salut. Or I should say bon dia. Yes, bon dia. Bon dia. Buenos dias. Jambo. Konnichiwa. Ni hao. How many languages? Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Shalom. Hey, Yafi. I love all the sayings. I think you should know at least 4 different greetings to everyone, just for good measure. Wagwan. Hey, Christy. Hey. Perfecto. Hey, Teresa. So I'll wait until a few people check in. Again, for the last video, salve, salve. If anyone wants to see the other video, I will try to upload it on like a showing. I think I can do that on YouTube. Like I said, YouTube, many of you know me, so you'll know how YouTube and the others treat me like I'm the bad stepchild. Even though I made YouTube poppin'. Poppin'. Let me stop. Anyway, check on in. I'll wait until we get to 500 and then we'll start the conversation. This is a really interesting one. Again, I'm going to wait until more people come in because, again, I never know if I'm going to have the video stay up. I don't know if I'm going to bring the video down. I don't know if YouTube will let it down, but it's going to be really interesting. A lot of revelations, a lot of things that will literally shake you to the core. This is a semi-purple pill. This is like a lavender pill video. So if you are really sensitive, if you are possibly infected with some sort of, succubus, incubus, you're possessed by the devil. If you are drinking wine and spirits every day and chiefing on the leaf, and you are high on some kind of narcotic, this video may be a trigger. So I'm just giving you forewarning. This isn't a full purple pill. At least I'm starting it off with a nice little lavender simmer. But if you feel in any way that I am someone that you aren't able to listen to without cringing, this certainly wouldn't be for you. If my bosoms violate your peace of mind, if it makes you want to cry to Jesus or Muhammad or Allah, if you feel like you need to yell out Allah Akbar, when you hear my videos, that might not be a bad thing, because Allah Akbar is like, isn't it like praise God? That's a good thing. I think that might be okay when it comes to the video. I'm just saying, I give you a warning, because some people will come in here and they get totally triggered. Hey, Konnichiwa. People get triggered when they come in here. They see the bosoms and they forget that there's actually real heirloom women that haven't gone to get surgeries to have a natural form. They forget that not all women are like size 2 because they're taking Ozempic, you know, like breaking down their livers so that they'll basically only live for like another 5 years shelf life. Or they basically are looking at people who are always, you know, making themselves up. Listen, I got a little eyeliner, some lip gloss. My lip gloss be popping, y'all. Look at my lip gloss. My lip gloss be popping. I'm a Generation Xer. We love lip gloss and eyeliner. That's the most you're gonna get from me. If I combed my hair today, you should be really grateful that I have clothes on and that I even comb my hair. My hair is really long now. I've got to do a little bit of a chop because I got hair. You know, many of you know I was pregnant, so I got a lot of hair all over the place. So if you get triggered from a natural, organic woman who isn't trying to appease to your taboos, this isn't the video for you. Okay? But if you all good with that, this video will be perfectly on time. So I will semi-purple pill you. I will lavender pill you today. It may get purple pilled. I don't, you know, sometimes I go on I go on a rant and it takes me up to like 15. So it's like a trigger warning. So I always give you the forewarning. Okay. So check on in. When we get to 500, I'll start off. Now, can you tell me why no one's able to access and also let me do a reveal. I have to come out of the closet. And yes, you know, unfortunately, I have fallen out of the wagon again, y'all. Yes, I apologize. I know this is one of my challenges in this simulation. I have fallen off the wagon. I have gone back to one of my previous challenged behaviors. Oh, Eden, you already know. I apologize for any sort of like hyped up language, getting really revved up. I'm back on the Joe, y'all. I'm back on the Joe, and it's Starbucks. I'm sorry. And this, I have to apologize. I'm working on myself. I haven't been perfect. I haven't drank any, I'm not sipping on the yak. So I apologize, y'all. I know that Starbucks Recovery Group has denied me entry. They said that I am not really someone that they feel can be a good example to the others. They have decided to ban me from any meetings at Starbucks meetings. And if your general meeting, your Starbucks Recovery Group has any pictures of me, please tell them to take it down. I'm a violator. And I'm working on myself. It's a simulation, and listen, I do very little things, so I just want to put that out there. Okay, so I fell off the wagon. Yes, unfortunately, I'm back on the yak. It's probably got graphene in it. I got to do a whole bunch. I got to put I got to put a tobacco patch on. I got to do like a cleanse. I got to take a bath with like EDTA. I mean, you know, it is what it is. Oh, I'm feeling myself. Oh, the graphene. Oh, the nanotechnology. Oh, pop rocket. Oh, the nano. I can feel it. The nano's got me. Oh, snap. Oh, it's hijacked my brain. Oh. Oh, snap. I'm sorry. All right, we're gonna get to 500. Oh, I'm hot. Oh, the nano's getting to me. Oh. Let me take a sip for the haters. Come on, hold on. Haters, I know you really dislike me, and you know what's crazy? Because you really love me. You come to every one of my videos, you obsess with me, you talk about me, you dream about me. Why don't you just say that you're a fan? Okay, you don't have to be mad at me because you like me. Sometimes it's just a matter of just revealing your feelings and expressing that you really have an obsession with me and you like me. So stop hating on me. I'm gonna be around a while. And in fact, you might realize there might be a revelation that you might be an NPC. So let me take a sip for you. I'm antagonistic. Oh. 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 All right, we're almost at 500, y'all. Check on in. Many of you know me over the years. It is what it is. Star Rose said, I'm triggering you for coffee. Don't do it. The nano is like, I'm gonna do like 50 million cleanses after this, so don't do it. I'm a bad example as far as that's concerned. When people say, can you be an example? I'm not an example for everything. Okay? Certain things I'm an example for. Francine! Hey Francine, I went to school. Listen, me and Francine went to school together. Hey Francine, how's the family? How you doing? I love listen, another Generation Xer. You up for the shenanigan, Francine? She tolerated me all through high school. I told you, some of my C-stars are here from back in the days. Francine's house on the block, her mom and dad let her have a hip-hop party a couple times. Remember that, Francine? We had a ball. We had signs up. That's when, I remember it was like what was it? Janet Jackson, in control. Remember, in control. Oh. Remember, my mama always said, you think the people told me. Remember the earrings with the, see, now I put the Hamza hand on my earrings. I don't do the key, but that was really cute, right? Big up to Francine, who's in the house. You see, I told you, y'all, I've been about this life for a long time. Thank you, mama. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get in. We're going to 500. Let's get it in. We're going to talk about the NPCs. Like I said, I gave you a warning. If you come in the house, I don't know that I'll purple pill you, but I certainly might I'm gonna lavender pill you, okay? It might get up to the octave of really high purple. If I go over to like ultraviolet purple, it's on and popping. But I give you the warning, if you're triggered by this conversation, if I cause you to have nightmares about Starbucks coffee or about big boobies, this video may be not for you. If you feel like Jesus is coming and he is on the precipice of arriving, I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm gonna cause you all kinds of issues. Do I have like eyeliner on my eye? You ever see like, I always keep like eyeliner on my eye, y'all. Look at that. I think I do. I'm sorry, y'all. Sometimes I'm sorry. Sometimes my eyeliner, you know when you have eyeliner on? Hold on, y'all. Hold on, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna see if I have eyeliner. I'm gonna go wipe myself. I'm gonna wait until 500 and be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to wipe eyeliner off my face, y'all. I can't just be that messy, okay? Check on it, okay? We're still at 420. I'm waiting until 500, so we're gonna start the... Jamoji said, viewer discretion is advised. Check on it. Oh, did I stop the feed? Are you guys there? Uh-oh, I think it dropped off. Let me know if anyone's there. There you go. Tell me if you're here. 13, put a 13 if you're here. Perfect. Okay. We're almost there, y'all. I'm in control. Remember? The people told me. Oh, where's Janet? Remember she was like, remember, just wait a while before you. can't sing. I love that song. You ever see that? Oh, remember the songs like, remember that's the time when you saved your virginity? Like you were just that song, just totally remember that song? I love that song. You know, she was sitting on the rooftop. What's his name from The Last Dragon, I think, was in it. It was such a romantic time. Oh my gosh. Any place, anytime. Oh my God. Now that's a sexy song. I'll put on like my velvet outfit. Wait for him to look through the keyhole. I'll be looking through the keyhole. Oh. Whoever grew up, let me give a big up to the Generation Xers. We have some music, y'all. Oh, it just made us feel so feminine, so beautiful, so amazing. We had a lot of like ushering us, you know, ushering us into the times. Okay. All right, y'all, we're almost there. We're almost at 500. I'm going to start when we go to 500 because once I get in, I get in. You know what I mean? Listen to some Janet Jackson. You know what's crazy? I hear I don't listen to the radio though. Do you guys hear Janet Jackson over the radio? I really don't listen to the radio. So maybe they do play her. I don't listen. I like Michael Jackson and Janet Jackson songs and Whitney Houston. They don't play those songs. When I was in Brazil, they play, especially big up to São Paulo. Where's my São Paulo people? Big up to São Paulo. Big up to my Rio, my karaoke's. Big up to our family in Bahia, okay? And Brazil was the only place that I heard them play Whitney Houston songs. And Prince, oh yeah. They don't really, you notice that? They don't really play those songs on the radio here. I don't know if it has to do with like copyright, I don't know. Maybe they don't want to pay them. Because you know Michael Jackson is living, right? I went to see the Michael Jackson song to play on Broadway. It was phenomenal. My ex took us. Big up to my ex who's behaving like a non-Nazi. He is big up to the ex-Nazis in the house. We went to go see Michael Jackson, the Broadway play in Manhattan. It was really excellent. Great performances. I was really shocked. I didn't expect it to be that good. And that's how I knew Michael Jackson was still living, because that wasn't able to ever be, there wasn't anyone signing off on that. Okay, that's how I know he's living. Big up to Michael Jackson. Hey, Michael. Hee. I'm going to start because it's taking too long. I think I'm too early. Please put a like in a video for, you saw Moonwalk out of his coffin. Thrashing commands. Y'all are terrible. All right, I'm going to start off. Please put a like on the video if you want to, I don't know. I think it helps keep it up. I don't know. I said that over the years. I can't really fact check that. Okay, so let's get into the video. We're going to talk about the simulation, MaTrix, Earth Simulation, the NPC transcriber. I'm going to be able to give you some wonderful tips about this amazing, disgusting, frightening, exciting, transformative simulation you call Earth, okay? So, hello, my name is FleurBrun. Big up to everyone joining. Peace to the east, the west, north, and south. This is FleurBrun coming to you today with a new topic of discussion. Let's talk about it. So, as many of you know, we are living in a simulation. This isn't real. This is a simulation. Either you are somewhere on a ship, either above or below, living and coexisting in some sort of cryo state. Now, personally, I will tell you about myself and those who I'm associated with that I am going to usher out during reset. Most of us come from what you would perceive to be the planet, which is a ship called Nibiru. We have been there. We are somewhere underneath. And this sea star said it, and it sits well with me. We are somewhere underneath in like what it looks like a submarine, but it's actually Planet X, or a submarine, which is a ship, which is Nibiru. So we're somewhere under, dormant, waiting to wake up out of this simulation. And there's layers to waking up. So we're actually at the last layer where we're about to break through the glass ceiling and wake up in our cryo beds, okay? So this is all a simulation. That's why thoughts are things. That's why when you think something, it comes into your reality. Your thoughts have electromagnetic energy pulse wave that kinetically works with all of the other energy that has binary codes or literally data, okay? So the broadband that I emanate at and you do allows for you to process the simulation and to interface with it with your thoughts. Okay, that's why you'll think about a color and all of a sudden that color will show up. If you think about a car, all of a sudden the car shows up. Some people will argue, well, if you put attention on something, you'll notice things because maybe you didn't notice because your attention wasn't on it. But that's all one and the same. Okay, that is just that we're living in a simulation. There are many references to this type of life that there is. If you've ever watched the, it's the old, what is it? The Twilight Zone. I think it's the Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone, there was a guy, he was doing a life sentence. He was sentenced to a couple lifetimes in a simulator, and then when he woke up out of the simulation, he had done his time, and it was only in a matter of minutes. So in the spectrum of being in a simulation, it seems like we're here for years. Most of us are in this cycle where you perceive the cycle, it goes through maybe what you perceive to be a couple 100 years in the simulation. That's with incarnations involved. And then during reset, that's when people like flowers bloomed, or you know, or awareness able to be amplified enough to be able to come out of the simulation. Okay, so there isn't everybody coming out of the simulation this cycle. They may come back in another cycle to do their time for whatever reason. Some people are imprisoned. I told you about the lifer loopers. These beings are here. They've done so many diabolical things. They're murderers, they're killers, they're child molesters. They have sex with animals, trees, grass. They have sex with their cars, mules. They do depraved things. They masturbate to like old, bad music. These are the beings that are forever loopers, okay? They're going to be in a simulation for a long period of time. Oh, thank you, my love. Ernest Kwam, what about seeing repeating numbers? I see them everywhere. Those are binary codes. Those are codes within the matrix. So what happens is that when you see repeating numbers, it's that you're matching that frequency, and whatever those numbers means, it means that you hit this precipice of code that emulates that you reached a certain point. It's almost like when you play a video game and you get points. It's kind of like when you reach a certain maximum amount of points, or you reach a certain level, it'll show the numbers. That's just my personal take on it. So and you know, when you're seeing that, that's just, you should take note that whatever that is, you're hitting a certain pinnacle level. Okay, there's layers to the simulation, just like a video game, and there are many players. The majority of people inside of the simulation are false flaggers. They are NPCs. They aren't existent outside of the simulation. They only exist here. Now, for what you perceive to be your celebrities, those aren't real beings. Those are NPC. Those are like NPC representations inside of here. If you left this simulation or this what do you call it, a holodeck, because if you ever watch Star Trek, it's a holodeck. If you ever left this holodeck for like 10 years and you came back, you would actually see the same beings being here in different parts. So they're repeating NPCs. They are part of the program. So if you go to play like Grand Theft Auto, there's NPCs that are part of that program. So whenever you go to play Grand Theft Auto, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, whatever games you go play, those characters will always be here. That's why you think that they're time travelers. They aren't. They're forever loopers. So 90% of all your celebrities, there are loopers. They are NPCs. They aren't even real. Okay, even if you position yourself in front of them, they would perceive, you would register them as real, just like if you're in a holodeck and you're going in a room that you've created, that you punched in a certain time frame, 1920s, 1950s, and they show up. They will always look the same. So you will see them in every single time because they are forever NPCs. They are characters. They may add things to the program, but this program is generally old. It only has a certain amount of data. Okay, so that's why you always see the same things repeating every 10 to 20 years. It has repeating programs. So the program will always be the same, maybe variations in the simulation based on the real players in this game, but other than that, it's generally the same. Now, what we liken to be, and I just found this out recently, what we liken to be archons aren't really archons. The archons themselves, well, they could be. Archons themselves were considered to be the architects of this particular simulation, this artificial simulation matrix. They basically are the programmers of the simulation that we're all interfacing with. Now, because they may have existed before and maybe they abandoned this program, that's why we aren't able to get really, no, they didn't, because we get updates. Now, I think last time, some of you missed the last video that I did. I talked about the whole ideology behind Mandela effects. Now, Mandela effects, and this is something I came up with, oh God, a couple weeks ago. I'm getting all of this information coming because when you reach a certain level and your broadband is picking up other signals that bring you more information because based on your level in the simulation, you get more information, more data to give you an up level. It's almost like you master a certain level, so you get more things to help you succeed to, go to the next level. So I came to the understanding that every time we get an update, that's a Mandela effect. Okay, the Mandela effect is an update in the simulation. So when a Mandela effect shows up as like a new, for some of you who are newer to the concept of a Mandela effect, a woman came up with the fact that she noticed that old information like Bernstein Bears, Sex and the City, old data that normally most people knew had changed with variations, like new variations of differential and spelling, sometimes a different color spectrum, a missing letter in the data. So what I woke up one day when I was up, I gained another level of understanding, is that every time we have a Mandela effect, it is an update. It's an update in the simulation. And it's just like when your phone updates, you get all this new stuff on your phone, like little variations in your phone that weren't there previously. It's all an update. So when you get the update, it basically is bringing you to another level deeper into the simulation. Now, I'm going to give you some information about those who are NPCs. NPCs, if they aren't in the reality of the original data, they are most likely an NPC. NPCs would only know the updates. So if the NPC is in here, it will always be updated with the new information. So that's how you also can identify an NPC, because when there's an update, the NPC only remembers the new information. It isn't aware of the old information because it's part of the update. Okay? So that being said, is that if you want to identify any of the NPCs, ask them some of the old relic. Now listen, y'all. There are NPCs that aren't aware that they're NPCs because they're in a simulation. So they're playing a part. So in playing the part, they have a data unawareness, like they're unaware in this simulation. Okay, so when you ask an NPC, hey, how do you spell Bernstein Bears? Now, remember, generationally, people who will know about Bernstein Bears are probably from a different generation. So you got to be careful with asking people information about it, because if they're from a different generation, that may be something that wasn't in their lexicon. It wasn't in their time frame. So be careful asking younger people about Bernstein Bears or about Tom Cruise in his movie when he had sunglasses on, right? And underwear and Risky Business, right? Be careful asking younger people, because that isn't in their awareness. They weren't in the generation where they were born and that was being expressed to them. You would have to ask them something that was in the time frame when they were born that they would know about. You know what I mean? Like, what is it, like that character with the tail? What is it? It's like that little Japanese anime with the tail. It used to be a straight tail. Now it's got zigzag. I forgot about that. Okay. So in this simulation, a way that you can basically vet out an NPC is that they only remembered updated data. Okay, Pikachu, it's Pikachu. Thank you, Jamoji. So Pikachu used to have a straight tail for some of the younger people, but now Pikachu has a zigzag tail. So if someone only remembers the zigzag tail, they are part of the upgrade. So they are part of the update. So they would only remember the zag tail because they are NPC. All the updated data that comes with the updates in this simulation or this game, that the The architects, which we call the archons, they're constantly updating the data. Now, most of you remember that the updates only started to come roughly in our awareness in maybe 2012. 2012, I think. It may have been earlier because I remember being online, maybe 2011. Regardless of when it was, most people only know about the updates or the Mandela effects are roughly around 2011. Can someone update, can someone let me know if it was, I think it's 2011 that came into like the social media arena. Okay. So that being said is that NPCs are a part of the program. They will only be given a certain amount of data. I remember when I talked about the loopers, the forever loopers. Loopers are NPC. A lot of them are NPCs. Now, there are people here, beings here who are capped with certain avatars that have a limitation on how much data they're able to access. And we talked about broadband. Some people have wider broadbands than others, so information they have a more extensive access to more data based on the biology they chose to incarnate in this, and to inject their consciousness, their mind. I got to be careful saying consciousness or content. Big up to no one. Thank you, no one, Green Dragon. Big up to no one who just alerted me to the words words con, everything having con in it. So you'll see me backtrack sometimes when I'll say things that have the bridge word con inside of content, inside of my shares, because he made me aware that the word con is in consciousness, in content, in continent. That's con. So anything that has con in it, it already tells you what it is. So just be patient with me, because that's a new form of control, right? It's a new form of awareness that I have to acclimate to and add to my a way of communication. Okay, so just be patient with that. So big up to no one who allowed me to share that awareness with me. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay, so back to the information. So with the archons orchestrating since 2012, to my knowledge, they've been orchestrating updates with the Mandela effects. And also with the NPCs, the forever loopers, there are people here who have chosen to be in specific avatars for a multitude of reasons. You do know that when you have projected your mind into an avatar here by choosing to incarnate in specific biological body suits, you have chosen them for specific reasons. Some have every genetic coded body that you choose to insert your mind into, your electrical mind that you're projecting into this reality, you have chosen it for several reasons. And like I said, there are some bodies, avatars that have wider bandwidth, and there are some avatars that have limited bandwidth. Remember, just like a video game, you earn a certain kind of ability to take on certain bodies. You would have to earn the certain skill set and wisdom and spiritual evolution to take on certain bodies. And the more evolved a body is, the wider bandwidth you would be able to to earn the body to come into. So if a an avatar has a wider broadband, it means that you've earned the skills and incarnations to be able to pick an avatar that has a wider broadband, which allows for you to earn higher perspectives, higher wisdom, and go higher than the cap. For those bioborgs that have limited broadwidth, they have only come in the game probably just recently. And usually in the game, they have easier lives, less challenges. And I always speak about the fact that if you've come in a video game, and I use Pac-Man, I know it's like my easiest way to kind of explain this to you. When you go in the Pac-Man game and you're a new player, you've just started, you're a novice, you're going to have a very easy time. When you go into Pac-Man and you know you're in there, you just started, it's very easy. You can eat a lot of cherries, you barely have any ghosts chasing you, kind of coasting. Then you get to an intermediate level, you're going to have some challenges, more challenges than when you were beginning, right? So now you're a Pac-Man and you're eating cherries, but you're getting chased by more ghosts, right? You're unable to really maneuver as easy. You have to use some skill sets. You have to use your mind to be able to, and your wisdom from playing previously, to kind of maneuver yourself to allow for progress in the game. When you reach the highest level in that Pac-Man game, now you could hardly get a goddamn cherry. The ghosts are coming, multiple ghosts are coming for you, and they're faster, right? So I'm giving you that example because people have to realize that if you come in an avatar with a limited broadband, you aren't going to have as many challenges. People aren't going to demonize you. You aren't going to have as much social media demonizing you, weaponizing who you are. Whenever someone has any beings in this projected reality we call the simulation Earth, they are going to be the ones that are the most challenged and the most demonized and the most came for. And I already told you that people in this avatar who have chosen to come in as melanated people, especially highly melanated people, that they are the ones who have a broader bandwidth because, remember, black color, anything darker has a broader bandwidth. What do I mean by that? Darker colors are able to take in more differentials in light schemes. If you have black, it has more colors that it has access to in the lights. Okay, that's why black holes pull in everything, because it has all fractals of light available to it. Okay, so that's why you'll see brown people or black people most demonized and most come for. They are the most advanced in the spectrum of this simulation, because in coming in to earn a body that has a broader bandwidth, it means that you're going to be targeted the most, because all of the ghosts, all of the monsters, all of them are going to come for you, because now you're at a higher level of awareness and you have the ability to also advance out of the game. Okay, so that broader bandwidth allows more access. The more limited bandwidth, the less challenges you have. So whoever's the most vilified, now obviously women, all women in this particular simulation have broader bandwidth. Whether she's darker or lighter, darker women have more bandwidth, but women in general have higher bandwidth. They have broader bandwidth. And that's why you're seeing a lot of projection or propaganda for males to transition into females, because they're trying to hijack the bandwidth. Okay, they're trying to be able to gain the females' bandwidth, because females have higher octave of frequency, and it allows them more access to information that comes into the kinetic field. Okay, that's why you're seeing everyone trying to become women right now. They're trying to mimic it, because they're trying to hijack and they're trying to sapphocite off of the natural ability of those who have the obvious advantage to take on more information in the video game. Okay, so that being said, is that this is part of a simulation. We are living in a holographic experience. Everything in here is artificial. You aren't even real in the way that you show up. Physical bodies, yes, it's a biological body that you've chose to insert your mind out of if you're real. And when I say real, basically, if you're a real being, like Pinocchio, a real boy, remember the whole concept of Pinocchio? Pinocchio was a wooden boy who was created, right? And he was created by his papa, right? And all he did, his papa was like, you have to be a good boy to be able to become a real boy, right? So, oh, wait, Joseph, thank you. So I've seen a few black-eyed people lately. Who are they? Also, some people who do not blink, period. It's very strange. Okay, thank you, Joseph, for the donation. I appreciate it. Well, first of all, you got to understand that we aren't the only ones in here. And there are bioborgs in here, androids, like some form of technology that are in here. Also, you have beings that are injecting themselves in bodies. There are people whose bodies are basically being used as jump rooms. Okay, you know how you have a jump seat in a plane that the extra pilot will go in whenever they're taking a flight? You have beings in here that are using bodies as jump rooms. So basically, a being can come in here, and some biological bodies have been hampered, or their basis of being here is likened. Not all clones are that same, but some of the bodies in here or have the ability to take in other beings that want to inject themselves for short periods of time, almost like you're going on a vacation, or you're going inside of a, like you ever go in those rooms? They're like those rooms that you play a simulation, and you go in temporarily. They're jump rooms, okay, jump seats. So people's bodies are jump seats in here. So if you're seeing black eyes, you might be seeing an inserted being inside of a body that they aren't from. They aren't from this world. And likened to walk-ins, yeah, but these are different kinds of beings. Now, we assume that everything coming in here, inserting itself in here, is humanoid or bipedal. There are other species that use the human body in human form to engage in this world, almost like a vacation, or almost for investigation, for just seeing, or almost like a scientific kind of researching, you know, like you're going to a zoo. Because some beings in here act like savages. Okay, there are people that are used as jump seats. Okay, and if your body wasn't first intended for jump seats, am I getting cut off? Uh-oh. Wait a second. Is this being cut off? It's too much information. I think I'm getting purple. I'm thinking purple pilling you. Uh-oh. Okay, let me know. Put 13 if you can hear me. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna continue. It's a little bit of a distraction. Remember, we're in a simulation. Whenever I'm hitting a certain level, the NPCs or the simulated beings will start to do things to distract the level of information that you're getting access to. So it could be right now that I hit a certain alarm, and in the simulation, there's certain information, data that triggers a response from the Smiths, or the what do you call it? Like see? Yeah, I hit a point. The sound was messing up, and now the dogs are barking. This is an example of the simulation. Whenever you hit a certain point, there will be a reaction from the simulation to stop you from engaging in the conversation. So what it will do is it'll mess with the feed. If that doesn't work, it will cause other things to cause distraction. So it'll try to come in and create, if the dogs to start barking, it'll do things like that. And remember, some of your animals, not all of them are real. Some of them might in themselves be NPCs, because remember, there are animals, and usually with your animals, you can tell an animal that has awareness and animals that are just basically very impulsive. Those impulsive animals are usually, they may in themselves be part of this simulation. So you have to take that in consideration, that everything here has a plausibility of being a part of the simulation rather than being an actual being, projecting itself in the avatar and actually playing itself as a real entity outside of this form. Okay, so so there are beings here that kind of monitor what goes on here. They aren't allowed to really do anything. That's why sometimes we'll start talking and you'll see like the helicopters come, because there's an alarm system that goes off when there's a heightened amount of frequency, and that's an awareness frequency. And once that goes off, usually helicopters come to see where the disturbance is coming from. When there's a anomaly in the matrix, in the same simulation, an anomaly is of a mindset, a frequency, a vibration that is a differential to the collective's frequency. It will seek it out to see where the anomalous frequency is coming from. And usually it's coming from having conversations that are becoming spiked. And remember, we all emit a certain frequency, just like in the simulation or NPC, and you play the games where they have avatars, or the Sims. Remember, there's like a certain kind of thing that shows up around the Sims, where it shows like their thoughts or things like that. It's the same thing in a simulation. You emit a frequency, and when you emit that frequency, it can register as something that is anomalous if it is outside of the character or the general vibration of everything around you. So if you are emitting a higher vibrational frequency, a heightened awareness, automatically everything will know. And I'll give you examples, like when I go to Brazil. Big up to my Brazilians. Bom dia. Tudo bem. When I'm in Brazil, the first thing that happened when I was in Brazil, because Brazil is a little further back in time, it has a little bit of like a time lap in their dome. And we'll talk about the multiple domes in different countries that emit different types of NPCs, different kinds of walk-ins. There's different characters even in a dreamscape, you have access to different characters in your dreams in that simulation in different countries. When I first flew to Brazil for the first time, every single entity, extraterrestrial, interterrestrial, recognized that something was outside of the norm. So as soon as I flew into Brazil, every type, there were the different kinds of what you perceive to be extraterrestrials. And we'll talk about what they are, but they noted that someone was coming that had a differential. Brazil has a general character behavioral setting. I will say this, I love my Brazilian people, but the majority of the country is NPCs. I would say about 99% of most Brazilians are NPCs. Most places that are considered to be overpopulated is CAP. It is actually NPCs, especially if it's notably a terrain that is desirable, they will have multiple NPCs occupying the space to keep it protected so that people won't take advantage of the access to resources or anything inside of that particular space. So when I flew to Brazil, all of the others realized who I was because I didn't match the general cap that is located there. Now, with all of the shots that people are getting there, you do know that even if they had the potentiality to be an avatar that expresses higher frequency or awareness, the shots, the Kukurachi kill shots, which are just the shots, they're not Kukurachi shots. They're shots that multiple people take when they are born and after they're born. Those are meant to cap that particular avatar. It's basically to LoJack and to cap the avatar that body is in, that entity who's injected themselves in the body can access. It gives them a very limited broadband. It actually limits the broadband, disallows for a lot of information to be accessible, and only allows that being, that biological being, that avatar, to work at the most limited form of accessible information and data. Okay, that's why it's important when you have babies that you do like FleurBrun did. Sorry. And you rebuke all shots and everything so that your children won't have capped conscious awareness. Okay, and that the beings that will be able to access that body, any ancestors are coming and projecting themselves from the ship Nibiru, because Nibiru is the actual Earth. Okay, now for people who ask me all the time, when you say the Anunnaki, my data has been updated. Not updated. My awareness has been up leveled. So Nibiru, when you say Anunnaki just means people from the other world, from the outside world. Okay, so that's a very generic term, and usually if people use it, it's just, there's newer people that or you know, they're online, they know that they can get more hits online, so, and they like to read a lot of books, and all books have generally been created, other than books that are independently published by regular people that are actually soul based, who have actual you know, are being projected, real beings that are being projected into actual body. Most books' data is capped or basically controlled opposition information. It may have a certain level of truth, but most of the books, like, you know, with Stitchin, who wrote, you know, about the Anunnaki and the 13th planet. What was it? The 12 planets? 13 planets. I forgot what the book was called. A lot of these books are just purposeful books that are meant to keep you, you know, you're supposed to get past that level of information. So be careful with people online that are newer to this. You know, they're not part of this life. They just did it because it's what's popping right now. You know, I've been online for a long time, and 2011, and I was on radio before now, 2011. So I've been on for a long time, and I've seen a huge amount of people coming out being, all of a sudden everybody's an expert in the Anunnaki. They always demonize the Anunnaki, and those most likely are NPCs or people who are buying into the concept that NPCs have written. The Anunnaki aren't negative. No, they weren't the master eugenicists. Yes, they could have, well, they could have been, because remember, the term Anunnaki means from the others, from outside the band, from outside the bandwidth, the limited bandwidth, outside of the firmament, okay? So they could be, but very much they use the Anunnaki so nefariously. I mean, everybody blames the Anunnaki for everything, but it's such a general term. So you know who is aware, or people who are just coming into this kind of awareness that they're beings outside of this reality, because it's just popular. Maybe they just get more hits now. You know, I'm about this life. So it's a generic term. But for most of us, for my team who came with me here in this reality, we have lived on Nibiru. Nibiru is the actual Earth. It's actual what you perceive to be all of the simulation here, all of the geoengineered environment, all of this this terraforming that they did to make this look like a simulated Earth. It is mimicry from Nibiru. So they mimicked a lot of the ships. They simulated a lot of the ship's natural kind of like environment, and they created it in this particular simulation. So this whole, what we consider to be Earth here, this is a simulation. We're living in some sort of hollowed out aspect of what you perceive to be the moon. The moon is a satellite. So we're living on this holodeck is just a satellite. We're living on the moon. Okay. And you don't have to accept the reality. I'm telling you what I know. Okay. This is the moon. We're living in some sort of one of the craters in the moon. This is where the simulation is happening. It's hollowed out. That's why they say you go to the dark side of the moon to be you know, memory wiped and re-injected inside of the actual simulation. It's because we are on the moon. You know, what you're seeing in the sky is just basically a reflection of what's down here. Okay, the moon is a satellite. It is a satellite that controls everything here. That's how the simulation runs. It's ran by an AI system, by the archons who do the updates in the system. We are perceiving with certain limited amount of light. Some people have more access to a broader bandwidth based on the genetic coding DNA that they chose to inject themselves in. The majority of people on this so-called simulation or on this so-called planet are all NPCs or others. Okay, others can be other beings. That's why sometimes you're looking at beings and their eyes will shapeshift into reptilians, because what you're seeing is a being that's projecting itself as humanoid, but really in itself it's a projected being that's a reptoid, and you're seeing glitches of their eyes shapeshifting in front of you because they aren't those NPCs. They aren't part of the normal. They aren't the normal beings that are inside. Well, I can't say that, because they've been here a long time. They just aren't what you perceive to be humanoid, okay? So are there different beings that are here? And how do you know this is a simulation also? Even when people say they're kidnapped by Greys, they tell you all the time, what did they tell you that happens to the Greys? So some of you are not from the UFO community, but anyone from the UFO community, what do they tell you what happens when the Greys come in the room? They usually tell you that when a person is having contact with Greys, they tell you that the Greys walk through the walls. Why is that important? Because if you understand and understand that you're in a simulation, there aren't any walls. The walls are illusion. So when they're seeing grays come in, these are basically just beings that have been contracted by others, like reptilians, other beings outside the firmament. These are other beings that are being contracted outside the firmament, outside of this world, that are being contracted, and they come here and kind of like, sometimes they work and do scientific data, they collect people's DNA, you know. So when people are being contacted by grays, I also know that they are tethered to specific beings, meaning they were created here for scientific experiments. That's why when you hear people who are having, you know, contact, and I don't want to use contact, when they're having communication with others, like grays and other beings, it's because they're being, well, I could say contracted, because they are being contracted by others, okay, outside of here. And the grays usually come in to do scientific experiments. You rarely hear about abductions anymore because people are so high and drunk that they wouldn't know the difference. But abductions are real, and usually abductions are from people who are basically geo-engineered by, they're hybrid by, you know, DARPA or the other organizations, and they're basically inserted into this field to experiment and see how they interface with everyone else, okay? And that's why every once in a while a gray will go and access those people who are part of the governmental DARPA systems or governmental systems, or whoever they're working for. That's their property, okay? They're tethered to those beings, those governmental beings, okay? So those are people who are part of that, okay? So I know when someone says they have seen grays, that I already know that they are tethered to an apparatus, like some sort of apparatus, a governmental apparatus. I say government, it may not be government, it may be some other group that has created those avatars that lays claim to them. They're like stock, you know what I mean? They're like stock, or what's it considered to be, like they own them. Okay, so whenever you see grays, is everyone seeing the video okay? Oh my God, they're really limiting. Oh wow, I'm hitting a chord. I must be purple pilling y'all. Can you hear what I'm saying? You can see just fine. I'm going to have to go back and relapse. What? Okay. All right. Okay. So I shared the grays with you because a lot of times when people say they're having beings come in to visit them, it's usually grays. And when grays come in, they usually see them go through the walls. But I have to express to you that it isn't that they're going through the walls. There aren't any walls. This is a simulation, okay? This is a simulation, and everything in here is artificial. That's why you can create everything. That's the secret, is that it's not a secret. Okay? It isn't a secret. The secret is, it isn't a secret. If you know that you're living in a simulation, that this is a reality that you're creating. Now, if you are a co-creator, you're basically working with the collective in a collective mindset, like a mind collective, like a hive state. So it's, yes, there is no spoon, right, Yafi? That's in the Matrix. When the little boy said he's bending the spoon, and then, you know, he says, you know, Neo says, how are you bending the spoon? He said, well, when you realize there is no spoon, okay? So I forgot about that, yeah. So understanding that you create everything. Now, co-creators are people who work with the entire collective in their general location. Now, remember, separation is an illusion. For some of us, we're all staying in one room in the ship, and we're in a cryo state, sleeping. So we are in the same room. So what you perceive as separation is artificial. when you go to other places, other countries, or other what you consider to be geographical locations, you basically are just accessing different dome spaces where you have access to different beings, NPCs, access different simulated objects. You know, it appears to be different and unique, but really in itself, you're just accessing different data in a different dome. Those domes are energetic domes, and you are only, that's why right now before reset, they're going to limit your access to be able to go into ultimate domes and to have access to different data. Everything is going through reset. Reset is clearing. We only go through this particular cycle. I'd like to say maybe they say it's 500 years. I don't think so. That whole 3,600 years, 26, that's cap. They got to tell you that so you think that we're living in something more expansive and so on. No, the cycle isn't as long as you think. It's a few incarnations. It might just be 3 incarnations and then reset. I'm unsure. I haven't vetted that out, so I wouldn't be honest to tell you. My opinion is it isn't as long as they're projecting it is. So we go through reset. You have multiple chances in different incarnations, short and long, to obtain a certain level and layer and then be extracted outside of this firmament, this reality, to wake up in your cryo state. Now, why you're in your cryo state, there's probably multiple reasons why you would be in this cryo state. Personally, I know that I'm on Nibiru, and Nibiru is, and I love how Em used to said, it's almost like we're underneath the water. We're in water, we're submerged in water, and like what would consider to be submarines. That's why you're hearing this whole concept of submarines. It's triggering you to be aware that you're in a submarine. So what they're doing is also they're demonizing submarines, like with the whole submarine that was, you know, those people went in, they supposedly died and suffocated. They want you to see that and have that thought, so you aren't going to want to leave. These simulated beings, they even in itself, the NPCs or the others who are unable to leave, they want to create fear in you so that you limit your access to be able to up-level yourself to leave. So what they're doing is that because they're forever loopers, they're stuck in here from doing diabolical things. They've done such heinous things. They want to make sure they aren't going to incarnate and accrue the amount of damage and abuse that they've done to others. So that's why they're the ones that are always taking, they do experiments. These are okay, so there are archons. Those are the creators of this architect of this matrix that we're in on the moon. We are on the dark side of the moon, and we're living in a crater. That's where the simulation is taking place. That whole thing in the sky, that's just a reflection of down here. We're actually underwater in some sort of cryo state, okay? Projecting our minds into these avatars that we're interfacing with in this simulation, okay? The forever loopers, the ones who are in here that have done diabolical things, they have to stay here. They don't really have to, but they have made a way so that they can control where their minds are projected into. So they create their own bodies. They hybrid bodies, they clone bodies so that they can project their bodies in specific bloodlines or certain types of DNAs that they can control. They do that because they feel they're unable to leave because they've done so many things, so many generations. They kind of lost the ability to kind of go back past that. So they make this as amazing as possible. That's why you'll see celebrities or NPCs, but you'll see the others who are connected to the celebrities, or they'll make themselves into celebrities. They make it so amazing and they embellish everything. They're basically those prisoners, those triple life loopers that basically, like the ones who are doing grilled cheese sandwiches on the back of the toilet in the sun when it comes at a certain arch. They make this joint the bomb.com. They have to, because they're unable to leave because their behavior has been so reprehensible that they haven't the ability, or they think they haven't the ability to get past that to be able to access and get out of this to wake up. Even in itself, by that psychopathic, sociopathic behavior, on Nibiru, the actual Earth, the ship that we're all living, that some of us are living on, they wouldn't allow those beings to wake up anyway. So in the fact that they've done so many things that are so diabolical, it's actually purposeful that they would stay here and be unable to wake up, because that kind of mindset, those kind of sociopathic, psychopathic, murderous kind of mindsets, that wouldn't be something that any ship would want on it anyway. So the fact that they have to stay in this particular simulation means that they are stuck here because they're unwilling to do anything else to up-level themselves out. Okay. Let me think. So in it itself, as far as them, I don't really like to talk about them themselves because that's their problem. You know, if they've done so many things, they just, the whole blood sacrifice, the children thing, that all has to do with them kind of borrowed time here. It's like they're taking the energy of others. They're taking the energy and ciphering off of the energy of those avatars to uphold themselves here, to keep themselves here, to keep them in a certain frequency. They're kind of like robbing, like it's like being a pirate of frequency. They're pirating on others' frequencies to be able to uphold themselves here in the kind of lifestyle that they want to keep while they're in the simulation. Now, why they're trying to hinder people from making it to where they can wake up in the other realm, in the cryo state, is because they know that once we wake up in the cryo state, we can deactivate their bodies. Do you remember in MaTrix when what's his name made a deal with the what was his name? Remember he made a deal with the Smiths? What was his name? I forgot his name. What was the guy's name who made the deal with the Smiths? Remember he was like, make me into a rock star. He wants to go to sleep. What was his name again? Do you guys remember? He's the one that betrayed. Remember, he was the one that betrayed Morpheus and them, and he woke up early. Cypher. Y'all, his name was Cypher. What? His name was Cypher. Holy cow. What a name. They tell us. I didn't even think about that. His name was Cypher, right? Cypher is like that 360 degrees around the circle, right? So he basically compromised this group. He sold them out, threw them under the bus. And then what he did is he woke up in the cryo state. That now it's all capped because in it itself, he wouldn't be able to wake up, right? Because he's already limited. He hasn't the ability to get past that cap. There's a seal. You know when they talk about the 7 seals? You know what I'm thinking that is, y'all? Just thinking about it, the 7 seals. The 7 seals might be the 7 layers that it takes for you to, you know, basically wake up out of the simulation. So he basically hijacked the seal, one of the seals, being able to go there. He wouldn't be able to get past that because you would have to get past the seals, right? So he basically went and woke up and basically compromised the bodies that are there. That's why they won't want you to wake up in your cryo state, because they know if you wake up, you're going to deactivate those bodies of the beings that are doing it. Because remember, they're injected here, they're being projected here into this simulation. That means they have a body somewhere. And if the bodies are there, what happens when those of us wake up and realize that those are psychopaths that have done harm to children and doing weird things in a simulation? You would deactivate the bodies of those people doing things like that. That is their incentive for making sure that most of you don't get out, especially with your awareness of who and what they are. That's why they hide themselves. They don't want you to know who they are. A lot of times you won't even know who are the ones, because remember, they're projecting themselves in different bodies because they don't want you to recognize who they are. They do diabolical things, but they play parts. If you know who they are, when you wake up, you're going to deactivate those bodies. Okay? So the fact of the matter is, Louis Cypher. Oh, Lucifer. I didn't even think about that. That's a good one, Yafi. Oh, snap. And you know, Lucifer means the illuminated one, right? Because Luciferus was when in the Cucarachi shot, right? Luciferus is what's illuminated. It's interesting. And he basically did the opposite. Now, be careful, because remember, in movies, what they'll do is they'll show you something that's the truth, but they'll demonize it. They'll purposefully demonizing it. His name, Louis Cypher, basically bring it to Lucifer. Lucifer is generally a term that is likened or connected to what they perceive as Satan. And in it itself, Satan is an artificial construct. It's something that's created, right? It's just an energy. Satanism is energy. It's probably energy. It's like parasitic kind of ciphering, right? Taking the energy. But Lucifer in itself is the illuminated one, which is illumination. And they demonize that word, but actually in itself, they demonize it like the 13th and the black cat because they want you to stay away from it. Lucifer is a luminous, to be aware, to be heightened in awareness. So they want you, that's why Cypher, interesting, they demonized Cypher. They made Cypher into the villain like Lucifer so that you would stay away from being illuminated. You understand how they get into your psyche? They basically demonize things that they want you to stay away from. So by creating a character in itself that is the epitome of the, you know, of a villain, right? Then in itself, in your subconscious, it's going to make you want to stay away from Lucifer. And if you want to stay away from Lucifer, then you're going to stay away from enlightenment. Do you understand? Because Lucifer is enlightenment. It is a purposeful cap on the consciousness of what that is. Lucifer isn't a person. It is a type of awareness. It's heightened awareness and having a wider bandwidth. That's why Lucifer is connected to blue. Why do you think Jay-Z and Beyonce named their daughter Blue? Blue is Luciferess. Even when you see Luciferess, it's that blue frequency, right? It's blue. So blue is connected to Lucifer. And Lucifer is something that's demonized purposefully. So you think that is what you say. What a wonderful, thank you, Yafi and everybody. That is why they made him into Louis Cypher, because they wanted you to demonize and stay away from that concept. Listen, it's a video game, y'all. And in video games, you have to get clues and you have to overcome clues and basically to utilize these clues to be able to up-level yourself into a heightened awareness. That's awesome. This is why they try to keep us from talking to one another. So big up to the Weirbees. We have up-leveled ourselves. We aren't Zombies anymore. We're Weirbees. We are now on Weirby. So now we've changed and we've evolved to another platform. I love it. Okay. So that in itself, okay, where was I? So right now we're in reset time. We are in the simulation of the Holy War that always happens right at reset. Y'all, it is the same thing. Remember they say it's always the same. It is always, okay. It is always, there's nothing new under the sun, right? You know why they say that? Because it's the same program. It's the same program. And blue doesn't burn, right? It's interesting that blue is the color that they put. Snap. Oh no. Did I do it? No chewing anything in here. Am I here? Hello, hello. There's no sound? Can you hear me? Oh my God, we're purple pilling, y'all. Whenever we hit a spot, oh, we're hitting a sweet spot. We're hitting that sweet spot. Oh, the single ladies. Oh, the single ladies. We're hitting a spot. I must be purple pilling, y'all. I said I was going lavender, but we might be going purple. We might be going all the way up. Nothing can stop us. We all the way up. All right, so let's keep going. Okay, so right now we're in the simulation, the end of the simulation. This is the finale. So big up to everyone who's in the finale, who's a real being. Big up to all the NPCs that are a part of the finale too. You characters always play these parts in the finale. So do pay attention to everyone around you. This is an amazing time. Once you understand that you're in a finale and you're in the actual, they're really doing it today. They're really doing it. Okay, y'all, we hit the spot. All right, let's get it. You got it? Ignore the dogs. This is all part of the simulation. Whenever we're hitting a point, they're trying to distract me so that I'm unable to share the actual instructions of the part of the finale. Okay, so everyone, this is the finale. Let me do my introduction. Hold on. Let's let them start talking. Let's take a moment. Check on in, keep the energy clear, because I'm about to give the introduction to the finale. Oh, it's so exciting. I wish I had like music. Look, there's never anybody out. It's probably a Smith. I think the Smiths are outside, y'all. The Smiths are here. All the way up. Nothing can stop us. We're all the way up. Okay, okay. All right, you ready? So right now, it's an intermission. Tonight, y'all, let's go. So do join. If you want to join us tonight, you can join me on Wearby, which you can come via Patreon or Coffee. I've upgraded to many different sites. So you can join me on Coffee or via through Wearby or on Patreon. So you can join us tonight. We're going to go in. Again, this is so much fun because we're in the finale. Okay. This is the religious war, y'all. I have to watch the doggies because they like to... Listen, these are my new additives to my finale. I have 2 Siberian Huskies are adding to the addition to my finale. It must mean that I require them, just like in Resident Evil. Like whatever you require comes to you right before you need them. Okay, so this is my pack. I have a new pack, y'all, a new addition to my pack, even though they're a little wild. Okay, so welcome everyone to Jumanji. This is the finale. This is Earth Simulation finale. I hope that you're ready for this. This is the end, friend. The most exciting finale ever. We are going through the so-called religious Armageddon. It's amazing. What you will need during this time is your heightened awareness, a little bit of sanity, occasionally some coffee, other things that some of you already do, okay? Be careful by engaging with any sexual activity right now, because this is a time that you need to stay as focused as possible. So if the ones you're engaged with keep you focused, then by all means engage. But this is a time that most likely you will be gaining your twin flame or your partnership. Your final partner will join probably in 2024. Now, remember, the numbers are actually capped. So in it itself, I'm glad I gave her that. In it itself, be careful with years. Years will change. That's why you'll see weird kind of years. And the years mean absolutely 0. It's just binary code. So right now, 2024 will be 8. 8 is the serpent. I talked about this in the other video with the Ark of the Covenant. I won't go into that. I'm going to replay that video for you guys. I'm going to try to play it as a live for you. I think I can after this. Well, I'll practice. There's something I can do to replay it for you. So I'll try to do that and do a live. So after this live, see if you can access that live, if I could do that. Okay. So be careful engaging sexually with any of the NPCs because they're distractors at this point. You aren't to be playing right now. This is very serious. This is a very serious part of the game. For those of you who will be exiting stage right or left, basically waking up from the simulation, some of you I will be seeing when we wake up in our room and being really excited to talk about the adventures. We had multiple incarnations as we engaged in the simulation. Very interesting on our Mother Hubbard ship, which is Nibiru. Okay, so for me and my crew, we will be waking up on Nibiru. Some of you will be waking up in another simulating room. So I think that some of us are from different, I think at the end, all of those who are in the room with you, you guys come together. Remember I've talked about before that during this time, there is an alarm that goes off. It's like a signal. It's like a red signal. Well, it shouldn't be red. It should actually be another signal. It's a signal that goes off and it tells us to go to where we began the game. So just like in the book with Ariel, Area 51, big up to the Sea Star who said that we're actually underneath Antarctica, Antarctica, and if you watch the diabolical show, what is it called? America Horror Story. And they have the spider being, I told you about the spider being in the forever web, right? I told you I was in contact with the Arachnid Queen for like the past couple years, and you do know that these dark beings that they have in that movie, they make it seem like, why do you have ant beings? Because if you ever watch the Hopi prophecy, if you ever see the Hopis, they dress like ants. The women in that thing, if you're talking about spiders, why they dress like ants? Okay, that's just a little sidebar to you. I know I'm talking, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what I'm talking about. But in America Horror, the women that are always coming around that are really creepy, dressed in black, they're dressed like the ants. The Hopi prophecy, they worship the ants. Why do they dress like ants? And I personally know, I'm accepting this, what this young lady said, this young sea star said, we are under Antarctica. We think it's separate. Antarctica under Area 51. It's all synonymous. I'm just saying. And that's my awareness. Now, some of you may not accept that. That's what I'm accepting. We may be under there. That might be why some people are really obsessed with that at this time. We're really being ruled by insectilians. They might be the ones that are actually taking care of our actual, our pods. I don't know. But they're ants, okay? It isn't spiders, it's ants, okay? Antarctica, okay? Ooh, something said that's right. Look, see y'all, in the simulation just said I'm right. Listen, it showed up on my screen. Someone from my Facebook just said that's right, but it's not, but it's from a post. I'm telling you that, listen, we're in a simulation, so everything, like the AI system, will confirm things to you. Anyway, so we are to go to where we entered. So right now the alarm was going off. So everyone, that's why you're seeing a mass exodus of people going from right to left. It is a pole shift, a polar shift. So also you're seeing who had advantage doesn't have advantage anymore. That's why you're going to see people who are favored aren't favored anymore. That's why you're seeing north acting like south, south acting like north, east acting like west, west acting like north. You're seeing basically a polarity shift. Okay, next year, 2024, which is 2024, which is year of the dragon. And if you watch Wheel of Time, at the end, the last scene, what came around the pillar? What came around that big monolith, which is like the castle? It was the big dragon. The dragon showed up. Okay. So next year is 2024. It's the 8. It's the dragon. The dragon is a serpent. It's a kind of serpent. Next year after that, 2025, which is 9, which is the end cycle. There's only 9 numbers in the number scheme, which is a serpent. So it's basically the twin flames. It's the twin serpents going up that pillar. That pillar is that them going up the Kundalini. Okay, so that's the awakening. Okay, so that's why the energy next year with the dragon energy, it's the earth dragon, the green dragon. That's why no one who came in, big up to no one who, came in right time and triggered the information to come on board. No one came in with the green dragon, the jade, the green that shows up next year. That is the beginning of the 8. Okay. That's when the twinning energy comes in. That's a whole concept of 44. The 4400, that's an 8, y'all. Okay? So that's why the 8 come together. If you believe, I use the word properly, if you believe in the concept of 4400, 44, 8, the 44 is 8, that's coming in next year. So there's going to be one exemplary energy, just like in the dark crystal, where the Skeksis represent one energy of the polarities, and that's why the mystics represent the other. Oh my God. The AI is on my phone, y'all. Let me take a break. One 44 is the 9. The 144 is the 9, okay? The 44 represents the 8. And the 144 represents the 9, which is 2025. It's not really the year, but just for what is being presented to us in the simulation is 2025 next year, the year after that. Hold on, y'all. I'm like, sometimes I'm just off the chain, y'all. Off the chain, y'all. Oh my God. Okay. So welcome to the finale. Right now, you should be ending anything that needs to be tied up. For some of you, you will be exiting at a stage right or left. You have ended your time in the simulation if that is what you've positioned yourself. Most likely, if you're a female, you have the ability to leave the simulation based on the fact that you came and you've earned a female's organic body. That's why many people are taking on that body, because they want to try to hijack it. So if you've been incarnated in a female form, you have earned a higher level in this game we call Earth Simulation. Congratulations. If you are a melanated woman, a female in the simulation, you have earned a high position because you've taken on the avatar of broader bandwidth. I hope you're not blowing that skill set away. That is an advantage. So hopefully you're taking up all that energy. Make sure that you're taking advantage of your broadbands, everyone. Okay, you've earned it. So big up to all the sea stars in this particular hologram. You've all earned the position to have the ability to leave. Now, sun stars, I haven't excluded you, but like I've said to before, if you are also exiting stage left or right, you have only earned the position to leave if you are loved organically by a female, and you love that female organically. You have to be vetted out, and also your qualification as a male to leave this simulation and to wake up, you would have to be sponsored or qualified by a female who loves you and who you love. I didn't say or, and who you love organically. That's why they're messing with most males, making it very difficult for them to be loving in a loving energy and also being lovable. Okay, that's the biggest challenge for y'all. So you have to, in order for you to leave, and the easiest way that most males will probably be able to ascend out of this simulation is most likely it's through their mothers, or their wives, or their daughters. Okay, so it's interesting that a lot of men have really fouled up their relationships with women, their daughters, and their moms. Okay, that's purposefully done, and that's why it's being projected out here for men to be so disingenuous to women, to roll through them like a tasty cake on multiple aisles of multiple versions. That's why men having a hard time being able to feel very grounded, because their simulation is projecting and giving them a smorgasbord. So it disallows them, unless they're higher in mind, to be able to focus on a sea star. And also another challenge for the sun stars who will be able to be vetted to leave. It isn't only that you have to be vetted by a female who loves you, who you love organically. She has to be conscious, and so do you. Listen. I know this for a fact. This is, normally I tell you, if it's conjecture, in order for a male to ascend and to wake up out of the simulation, he has to be vetted and sponsored by a female who loves him organically, who he loves organically, but she has to be conscious, and so does he. So a man who's with an unconscious woman doesn't qualify to have ascension, to be ascended. Okay? He would have to be with an ascended woman who's conscious, and who he's conscious, who he loves, and who loves him organically. It can't be like, I love her because she got a BBL. I love her because she makes me feel good about myself. It has to be organic. He said, you love her, you feel, and that's why I say most likely this will come from a son, from a mom and a son, from a mom and a son, or a wife and a husband. Or people or mates. That's why the twin flame most likely happens next year, 2024. Okay, and it doesn't mean, listen, there isn't any trickery in here, y'all. You aren't being taken advantage of. There aren't any victims here. Okay, so when that happens, next year, which is in a couple months, right? Which is really not until March, to be honest, right? In a couple months, that's when the twin energy is coming. So there's going to be a yin and yang effect when the actual equal opposite has an opportunity to merge. Okay, and that's where you get that gray energy. You know, we talked about the gray candles, the merging of black and white, coming together, the twin flames, the whole concept of the mystics and the Skeksis merging into oneness. That's happening. Okay, so that's the exciting part, you know what I mean? So Sun Stars, you aren't left out, but if you've been selfish, if you've been disharmonious with females, especially your mother, your daughter, or with women that you've been with, if you've been because remember, your biggest challenge would be overcoming the aspects of all of the smorgasbord in the matrix that has allowed you to do as thou wilt, without any, with limited aversion. Now, if you're a melanated man, you probably have a lot more of an advantage because you are perceived to be a higher level in this simulation. Why? Is because you have a broader bandwidth. You have a broader bandwidth, meaning you have more melanation, meaning that you have more access to all of the codes. Now, if you've not taken advantage of that and you've just basically kind of become apathetic or just living in a simulation without taking advantage of that advantage point position, because you wouldn't be able to go into that avatar unless you earned it. So if you've earned the access to an avatar that has wider bandwidth, then you have earned it because you were in multiple incarnations, done things that have put you in a higher position to have allotment, to have access to more codes. Okay, whether you use it or not doesn't matter. It's up to you. Like a C-star said, well, because someone's brown, does it make them does it make them able to ask to leave? No, because look at all the brown people acting like savages, robbing people, disrespecting their mothers, having sex with multiple women that are low vibrational, doing drugs and alcohol. Those are all brown people. So I'm just saying that gives you an advantage, but it doesn't mean you're going to take it. It's like having an advantage of life. It's like a wealthy person who has more access to more things, material things, but they're still depressed. Just because you have it doesn't mean you use it. Okay? So I'm just saying, so there are lunars who have lighter skin, who have more limited broadband, but they have access to higher mindset. They've accessed higher information, wisdom, loving, participating with compassion. So they have lighter skin, they have less access to more bandwidth, but their behavior and their ascension is higher based on how they are doing things in this matrix. They're compassionate, loving, honoring of their mother, sweet to their children, giving to the world, they recycle. So just saying that there are beings that have chosen to have a body and earned a body that has wider bandwidth, but doesn't give them an advantage if they aren't using it. Okay? So be careful with that because, NPCs come in all colors. All ethnicities. NPCs are everything. Remember, NPCs are a dog, a cat, a bird, a plant, a person, a woman, a man, a baby. NPCs are all over the place. Okay, so that isn't a determinant of anything. We're talking about real beings. When I speak about this, there aren't a lot of real beings in here, y'all. So when I bring this up with bandwidth, people, there aren't a lot of people here. Most of the people in here are NPCs and others. When I say others, I don't know all the others. There's others here. There are other beings here that are shape-shifted into something that you perceive as humanoid. They aren't us. They're others. I can't tell you all of their agendas. They're harvesting bodies here. They're harvesting children's bodies and women's bodies here. They're basically taking the bodies of women and using those bodies to get them pregnant so they can have the babies, to utilize their blood to uphold their youth. I mean, they're doing a whole lot of crazy things in here. So I can't tell you everybody who's here. I'm telling you, there aren't many projected souls from Nibiru and other ships. Now, mind you, Nibiru is the ship that I'm staying on now. Do I live on Nibiru all the time? No, I'm an Andromedan. I come from the Andromedan system. There are many different races. Notice I use the word races. You rarely hear me say there are many different races of beings that are living on Nibiru, kind of like Star Trek or Star Trek Enterprise, when you have multiple beings working on the ship for working in sync for the same reason. Okay, so that in itself is that When I talk about Nibiru, some of you are not even humanoids. Some of you are Lyrian. You're like lion beings. Some of you are like octopus beings or other kinds of beings. Some of you are like mermaids, like fish beings. There are multiple beings living on Nibiru, and not everybody is from Nibiru. I'm staying on the ship. That's where I'm stationed right now. In my projected body, I'm underwater on Nibiru. I'm under the water in a cryo state with my homies from my crew. There's only a few of us. We're here together. We're going to try to leave together. Some may not make it, some will, but the majority of us already have our directives. We were to come, I was making sure I was to go to get them. I'm a Moses figure in this particular simulation. I'm a Moses figure, meaning that I'm here to usher people into their final resting or awakening places. I'm here to usher the awareness and the directive. That's why I came as a triple Sag. Triple Sag comes with someone who is an ultimate scholar, who is also a traveler. So that's why I came as a triple Sag, because only that energy could have the ability to usher people into their final stages of the awakening. Okay, so you see me a lot of times saying, listen, I already told you, I told you on multiple platforms, you need to leave the simulated United Fakes. You need to leave the simulated Europe. You need to leave the simulated Canada. You need to leave the simulated Australia. Those places are for decimation. They will be harvesting organs and body parts and children in those areas. Those are meant for the camps to take in the consciousness and to keep them encapsulated in smart cities, dumb cities. They're going to take them into the smart cities, keep their consciousness with a web that will keep their consciousness from being able to leave, put them in kind of a prison state where electromagnetic field. That's why they're doing it. That's why people are feeling very sick in those areas. You're feeling overwhelmed because they have it ready for the smart cities. Now, the smart cities are going to be in multiple places, but right now, the places that they are harvesting and they're going to be utilizing the bodies and everything are multiple places. United Fakes, Europe, and wherever there's a herd moving, remember, you got to overstand. Whenever energy moves, you have to move. There's an exodus happening right now. There are beings that are being emptied out from South America and parts of the most nefarious parts of the Middle East, and they're being exodused into the West. The West, that's why you have Kanye West, Northwest. They're being ushered here. That means that is your trigger to tell you now it's your exodus to leave the West, because we're in a polar shift. The poles are shifting. So beings that aren't of a certain conscious state are migrating and doing their exodus into the West. The ones in the West are supposed to do their migration to the East, to the Southeast. Okay? This is happening now because it's important for everyone to go to their exit points. Those beings who are coming from decimated countries, remember, they emptied out the whole prison system in Venezuela, y'all. Oh, the whole prison system. They basically are getting rid of all the riffraff in other people's countries and bringing them over to the West. The West is done. This is a simulation, y'all. This is the finale. It's going to be a big boom, boom, boom. Okay? The migration of those from all the way from the other countries, they're migrating here. Do you match the consciousness of those beings? Do you match the multiple murderers, rapists, serial killers, psychopaths that are being ushered into the West? Do you match them? You got to ask yourself the question, because remember, everything is energy in the simulation. So now you have a collective consciousness that is coming in with remnants of psychopathy, mental illness, murderous behavior, child traffickers, people who've seen their mothers and grandmothers' heads blown off in the Middle East and now they're here. Do you match that? You got to ask yourself that question. That is your trigger for you to do your migration. It is a pole shift. So everything moving from right is going to left. Everything left has to go right. It's flipping poles. You have to go to your directive, wherever you're being pushed and propelled and you are being motivated to leave. Now, some of you may match it here. Maybe you want to stay. I'm just saying. Maybe you want to stay here. Now, this is a judgment because, first of all, I don't even know that they're NPCs. Remember, you might be NPC. Maybe you want to stay here and stay. Maybe you want to be in the back. Maybe you match the frequency of those psychopaths. You may, because I'm looking at everything on television and all of on the social media. And let me tell you, women are putting artificial parts in their bodies. They're putting eyelashes, snuffleupagus eyelashes. Men are wearing nail polish and wearing purses. They're cutting off their Johnsons and their wands. Women are violating their body. I mean, everything's here, so you may match it. I'm talking to ones who don't. If you match it, yeah, by all means, stay. Yo, the purge is real. You may want to engage in the purge. Do what you do. I'm not here to judge you. I'm saying you may match them. And for those who are saying, "Oh, I'm a native here," and so on, please stop it. I'm gonna give you the blowhorn. Please stop it. Oh, as I'm native, this is my country. First of all, Native Americans, Native Indigenous, only people who think you can own land were colonizers. Okay? Those are the ones who are fighting, creating borders and all that stuff. Those are colonized. That's a Western mindset. That's like a colonistic mindset. Native Indigenous were aware that land couldn't be owned. It was lived on. And when land wasn't applicable or appropriate to live on anymore, we all migrated to where it was more cohabitatable. So when people say to me, "This is my land, I gotta stay here, this is my land, I own the land, this is my ancestors," your ancestors weren't stupid. And that's why they're not here living in this madness anymore, because they knew to migrate to where safer, where there was fresh water, where there was fresh elk, where there were fresh bison, where there was fresh fish. If there were hostiles coming, they weren't staying there. Land can't be owned. So please stop, like these people who are, this fake people that say, "Oh, oh my God, I got to stay here because of the land, and if I leave it," you are so ridiculous. You don't even know that you're indigenous to this particular. Some of you are indigenous to the Americas, but you're indigenous to South America. You're indigenous to the Caribbean. So stop it. You know what I mean? Like when you say things like that, it really limits your ability to be able to have movement. You're becoming scared and you're lacking the ability to really expand yourself. Make sure you're able to move forward. If you're limited to only staying in one place, atrophy is basically when you're atrophied, that's death. Atrophy is death, right? So there isn't any indigenous people who thought land could be owned. Only colonizers thought that. Only people from the West thought that because they were coming from somewhere else. So they wanted to put perimeters on it to secure themselves there because they weren't indigenous there. So just using that was ridiculous. Land in itself is sentient. Your home you are your home. This is your home. Where you go is wherever you bring your energy. Okay, so really in itself, the pole shift is happening. All of the diabolicals are coming into the West. And let me say this, for all my sea stars that are living in Europe, Ireland, Scotland, France, Italy, Germany, Austria, the Netherlands, you have to know that you are on the chopping list. If you look at the Deagle report, they have the purge about to occur. The activated sleeper cells that have been purposefully ushered into the West are going to be activated for the purge. They are there to basically take all the children. That's why in Hawaii, the children are taken. Big up to Rudolph of Germany, the tall white alien. I got to give you props because you were right on point. Let me give him props because many of you know for years, Rudolph did help me through the rainbow event that happened a few years ago. And now I understand that the rainbow event has to do with the Ark of the Covenant. I'll share that video later. I don't want to go back into that because some of you heard it already, okay? But Hidden Itself, he told us 8 years ago online. That's what I'm saying. Some of us have been on YouTube for a long time, y'all. Some of you are newbies. Maybe, I think maybe some people are not meant to hear this information. If you're not allowed to hear this information, some of you aren't meant to hear it. It may not be information that you're in alignment with. That's all. Don't fight it. Don't fight it. Let it happen. Rudolph of Germany, I gotta give him props. Rudolph of Germany, a tall white alien, said 8 years ago. And y'all, that's what I'm saying. You hated the relationship. It's not that we have a relationship, it's we have a respect. 8 years ago, he said the final war would be a religious war. I didn't know how that could happen because it was like a religious war. How could it happen? A religious war. And he said that war would be kicked off right before the pole shift. It's a distraction so that you are unaware of the pole shift. The pole shift is what happens when we do reset. But if you are so distracted from the so-called war, listen, y'all, I'm a political atheist. There isn't any such thing as politics, polytricks. It is a multitude of tricks to keep you encapsulated and make you give away your power to sociopathic maniacs that are probably lifetime loopers and NPCs. These beings aren't you. There aren't any such thing as Democrats, that word is new to me. Democrats and Republicans. There isn't any such thing. They're all one. They're working for the same agenda. How do you know? Is because look at all the borders that have been breached. You got $100 billion going over to Israel and to freaking Ukraine, and they're not even watching the borders in the States. You really think that your polytrictions are working on behalf? They're giving all of your tax money to foreign aid, to beings, and they're about to unleash the multitude of people from Gaza over here in the fakes. I'm just saying, do you really think there's such thing as a Democrat and politicians? These beings sold out the whole country. All of the food distribution centers were blown up for the first 2 years after 2020, y'all. Did you know how many? You think that's by chance? Billy Gates. Remember, Bill is B. It's 13 ill. His name is Ill Gates. It means he brings in illnesses through the gates. His name is Ill Gates, y'all. The man bought up freaking Bragg's vinegar. You know Bragg's that everybody uses, the vinegar, the apple cider vinegar, and the cold press. Big up to the sisters who put that on my Telegram group. I think it was Delmarche or was it Jamoji? One of you did it. Thank you for doing that. I think it was Delmarche. Thank you, Delmarche. Yo, the mother freaker bought up 2019. He took over Bragg's vinegar and freaking the Bragg's company. So that, listen, and you know, I'm going to sidebar a little bit. I remember, I like to use olive oil on my skin, right? So I love to, like, after I take a shower, you always ask me about my skin. I put fresh olive oil, put it on my skin. I remember, y'all, and I stopped doing it because I started getting rashes on my skin. You know why? Because he's putting fake apple peels in the apple. Y'all, anything that they use that they're projecting to you and they're promoting to you has already been hijacked. This is a video game. You got to be smarter, faster, and you have to be fluid. You have to be able to move at the quickness. That's what I'm saying. Stop saying you part of the land. You gonna be stuck on the land with a whole bunch of diabolical psychopaths. Okay? So I'm sorry, y'all. Did I ruin your day by talking about Braggs? I'm sorry. It started getting rashes on me. I was like, why am I getting rashes? Because the bastards took it over. Do you see all the worms? Little parasites that are on all the food now? You better stop. You better start growing your own stuff or vetting everything out. I'm sorry I ruined Braggs for you. Did I ruin it? I kind of purple pilled you without your permission. Is it okay? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruin your day. It did ruin me. That's why I say I'm sorry. No, Katy Perry bought it, but then she linked up with the Remember, they're all part of the simulation, y'all. Katy Perry was down with Billy Gates, and Bill is B, which is Bill, B, 13, ill. Anything after a B is the word that's being amplified. So B, 13 amplifies anything after it. So his name is Bill Gates, Ill Gates. Okay? I'm sorry. It's terrible. You know, rest in peace to Bragg's. Okay? There are other companies that you should use. Just vet it out, yo. I'm sorry. Anyway, it's a simulation. You're going to wake up anyway. So let's go into the conversation about the end. So now we have the pole shift, the different beings move from different poles. All of the super soldier sleeper cells are all pushed into the location. All they're going to do is push the, wait, where's the remote? All they're going to do is push this remote. Boop. Wait, it's a color-coded remote. They're going to push one of these remotes, these colors. Look at this, so gross. They're going to push one of these colors and then the sleeper cells. You saw what happened. They did a mock sleeper cell thing on Alaskan Airlines. I'm so grateful that they survived it. You heard about that, yeah, right? The mock sleeper cell that was awakened on Alaska Airlines that tried to take down a plane. You heard about that? You heard about that, right? He tried to take out multiple people. That's an example of the activated sleeper cells that are now being activated. Right now, this is a finale. The dress rehearsal is over, y'all. 2012, 2020 was the dress rehearsal, y'all. Is on and popping. Everything that you learned, every bit of information that you've gained over multiple incarnations was basically outside the firmament, outside when we wake up outside of our cryo state. We probably were only in here 30 minutes. Isn't that crazy? Because time doesn't exist in the same way it does here. So 30 minutes could mean like 3 incarnations. 300 years could be 30 minutes outside of this firmament when you wake up. Be careful with time. Time is an illusion, okay? Separation is an illusion and time is an illusion, okay? That's why the 11, those are gates, okay? Bill Gates, Gates, y'all, all right? All the food is being accepted. Your avatar is really in itself, you chose particular avatar for specific reasons. So make sure, just like in the video games, check out the benefits of your avatar. This is your technology while you're in this simulation. You want to maximize your technology here. They're trying to take everyone's gallbladder as well because it seeds the soul, okay? Be careful. Gratefully, I'm going to protect all of my organs while I still can because you need them to be able to leave. Everything in your body is required right now. Natural hair, natural body. That's why they're promoting all women to put artificial parts in their bodies. They want women to do it because remember, women have broader bandwidth. They're making women compromise their biodome because this body is your technology. And the more organic and air element is, the better the technology works. That's why they're compromising everyone's technology. When women, you put fake boobies and buttocks in, you mess with your meridians. You chose that avatar perfectly for this particular exit. That's why they're putting X. Why do you think twatter, put X? It's exit. That's why we're called Generation X. That's why it's called Planet X. X marks the spot. X is the exit. Brexit. Okay? Leave your bodies alone, sea stars and sun stars. Stop chopping off your wands. Leave everything in it if you can. Get something to break down. Thank you, On. Thank you for all those who shared. Make sure you take care of your gallbladders. We all do. Gratefully, we have to take care of our gallbladders. Take that stuff that keeps gallbladder stones down to it. They're trying to take everything out. Your biostone, keep your hair natural, keep your skin natural, keep your technology working and functioning at the highest capacity possible. Okay? Yeah, it's a movie, Jay Russo, and we're part of it. This is the fun part about the MaTrix. We've actually come in here to engage and to level up. So all you video game players, this is the top video game ever. You need to focus on the real video game is the one we're playing right now. NPCs are everywhere. You will notice them. So be mindful because right now, because we spoke about all this, the NPCs are alerted, okay? So Just like the same reason that you'll go inside of a store and there'll be nobody there, and all of a sudden you show up and then all the Sims start showing up because they got to fill in the space because it's not real. When you leave the simulation, the room, there isn't anything there. It is a simulation. Okay? Right now, pay attention. Everything is a clue. Even this video, if you're listening to this video, it just means that you accrued enough bandwidth to even hear this message, because most people think I'm crazy. People aware know I'm very sane, and they know that I live at the outside and that I'm come here to get my team. For my team, for those who are leaving with me out of the simulation, we will be meeting up at 0 point. Now, remember, we aren't allowed to go to 0 point until the designated time, because if you go too early to 0 point, they're gonna have zombies, they're gonna have Nazis. So we gotta be careful going too soon to our designated point. We should start doing our migration now. It is a natural migration. Remember, if you watch The Dark Crystal, remember it took the mystics a while to make it to their... It took them hold on. Okay. It took them a while to make it to the point, but remember, their goal was they started the migration from the forest, right? The mystics. It took them a while to get to where they were going, but they arrived right on time for the conjunction. Remember the planetary conjunction that was in the actual simulation? I mean, in the actual show? Lola! Hold on. These are my new members of my team. Lola, come here. Lola has blue and brown eyes. I don't know what that means in a simulation. Hold on. They're everywhere. I have a pack. Apparently I need them. Come here, Lola. You want to come up? You want to see? Want to see Lola? Want to see Lola? This is Lola, y'all. Lola, you want to see their eyes? They want to see your eyes. This is Babette. You see Babette and Lola? This is Lola. They want to see your eyes. Want to look over here, Lola? Look, look. Look, look. She has one brown eye and one blue eye. So beautiful. That's Lola. I have 5. So part of my my pack is Lola's the newest member of the team. I have her daughter, which is come here. Wanna come? Okay, Babette is here. Okay. Which is Frost. Frost is her daughter. Frost, you wanna come? Okay. Sorry, y'all. I have a new team. I don't know. I must need them for the end, you know, the simulation. You want to come, Frost? My daughters named them. Yeah. Lola and Frost. You want to show? They're Siberian Huskies. I must be going somewhere cold, because all of a sudden they have cold dogs that are coming from, so there must be something in simulation. I must be coming out of the simulation. Anyway, I'll show you Frost. Frost, you want to come up here? Frost? 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 Oh, okay. No. They all want to jump up and laugh. Babette is very jealous. Okay, sorry. Okay, let me stay focused, okay? During the end, which is I gotta watch them. Okay? During the finale, you will be given all of the tools you need for your finale. Be mindful, because there will be a lot of distractions, okay? What? Remember David Bowie was in the Labyrinth? We should probably watch that again, Aziza. Aziza's amazing. Big up to Aziza. Aziza's mind. Aziza, you made for these times. You know, Leo energy. You and Yafi, them Leos. Those darn lions. Lions, Lyrians, lions. You know what I mean? The lions, okay? So I gotta watch the Labyrinth again, right? Was he in the Labyrinth? They want me to become Priscilla. Priscilla said they want me to become a trans panda again. I'm going to become a panda again. I told you I'm trying to use that as a way to, was it the, do you remember when David Bowie, was it the Labyrinth he was in? Can someone remember real quick? Because I want to remember that show, because maybe I'll watch it after we get off. Was he in a show, The Labyrinth? We should watch that again. Yes, okay. The Man Who Fell to Earth, David Bowie. Ooh, okay, okay, let's put that in our, we got to put that in our repertoire to watch. Okay, so everyone add that to the homework, because there's probably clues in there. That could be why Lola came with a blue and brown eye. I'm supposed to watch that again. Okay, these are all clues. All right, hold on. My doggies are on. See? They bit up the chicken. Okay. All right. Okay, let me stay focused. Stay focused. I gotta keep my stand there. I gotta watch them. Okay. All right. So we're in the finale. The Goblin King. Okay. And we need to pay attention to all the clues. All the clues are going to be brought to us right now. Every person, everything that shows up in your simulation is a clue. Make sure that you aren't ignoring clues and that you're paying attention to everything. This is the finale. Everything matters, okay? Whether someone comes and mentions something out of the blue. Also, be careful with distractions as well. For every clue, there's going to be a distraction. This is a finale. You would have to earn a position to be able to make it out of this. So this isn't for the weak. This isn't for the ones who are limited. This is about, these are those that are the most masterful, are the ones who will be able to ascend outside of this simulation. Okay. So for my crew, I'm here to bring my crew. I'm their Moses. I'm bringing my crew to the 0 point. We are doing our migration. It is a slight migration. There isn't any one place you should be staying. You should be migratory, almost like a nomad now. Because if you stay somewhere too long, too early, the Agent Smiths come for you. Okay, so this is a gradual migration. Okay, so you will see that some of you are migrating out of your terrains, out of your location, and you're doing it gradually. You may go to one place, another place, because remember, the people who migrated all the way from like South America, Venezuela, it was a gradual migration for them to end up where they needed to be. It's the same for us. So don't try to refrain from putting too much pressure on you, because it's a natural migration. It's going to be just like the mystics going towards the Skeksis. It would be designated to make sure that we were there at the finale, 0 point at the finale, at the grand conjunction. And the grand conjunction, planetary conjunction for us, is the reset. Okay? So NPCs, you want to be careful, because NPCs are distractors. These are the ones who will come in and distract you from doing things as soon as you're about to change. Remember, you aren't a victim. You have to utilize your skill set. You're in a video game. You would have to use all your tools and the things that you've earned in your video game to be able to accrue more clues and things necessary for you to get to the next level. Everything is accessible. There isn't any limitation there. If you require fiat, fiat is fake anyway. Fiat is a fake system it's a fake monetary system. You will always have abundance, anything you need at the time you need it. Okay? It's very purposeful for you to know that. If you keep saying to yourself that you're broke, if you keep saying that you have limitations, then basically you're geoengineering and you're manifesting that into your reality. Everything's accessible. If you played a video game ever, oh, there's Jose. Jose's there. Wait, Jose, how come you're not one of my, bam, hold on. Okay, there you go, Jose. Jose plays video games, right? Right when you're about to hit another point where you need something, you will have access to more tools inside of your simulation, okay? People will be used as tools as well. There are NPCs that aren't awful. Remember, NPCs are here, just like in the Jumanji game. NPCs come in and they share things with you to give you clues on where you're supposed to go next. Hey, Jose. So it's important for you to pay attention. An NPC may come in and then all of a sudden, it basically will show you, so like an NPC will say things like, hey, you know, just like in the MaTrix, remember Neo was selling bootleg, he was selling bootleg AI, what was he selling? Bootleg CDs. Like he was hijacking stuff, and he was like a, what was he, like a computer nerd, right? He did something, he was selling something, but remember he was doing that. So remember, he was on his computer and all of a sudden it said, follow the white rabbit, right? And then what happens is that he looks through the thing, somebody wanted to buy one of his CDs, he gives it to them, and the girl turns around, what'd she have on her back, y'all? She had the white rabbit. Everything is meant to bring you to a certain point. I always felt my video games were training. They're training, yes, they're training you, Jose. So it's important for everyone to pay attention to that. Pay attention to who comes around. Be sure you aren't disrespecting an NPC, because that NPC could just be someone carrying a clue for you, okay? People, now mind you, I've told you before, if you're an NPC, you would only have information, you would only have the updated information, which is what you consider to be the Mandela effect. So if you want to know if you're an NPC, because I'm sure there's NPCs in here who don't know, maybe they're part of the program and they don't really know. If you're an NPC, you would only know updates. The original people that come from actually the projected minds coming from outside of the firmament, those are soul-based beings. They have all of the information from the original, from the actual, the point reference, the 0 point. If you only remember the updates, most likely you're your NPC, or you could be a walk-in. I don't want to take in consideration that there aren't walk-ins. There might be walk-ins also that come in after. Okay, so a walk-in is someone who gets choice to come into body to fulfill something and maybe to have access to leave as well. I don't know. Okay, make sure you are clearing all of the demons off of you, y'all. You need to spray yourself with salt water. That's why they're keeping you away from the beaches, right? You know that, right? When people talk about possession and everything, I was like, they certainly don't live near the beach, and they don't mess with salt water. That's why in all your movies, the Wicked Witch was always, you know, she melted when she had water. It wasn't just water they put on her. Remember the Wicked Witch in The Wiz and The Wizard of Oz? It wasn't just water they put on her. It was most likely salt water, okay? Salt water is the key to keeping demons or demonics or entities off of you. So it's why your water is being most compromised. That's why they're probably showing. So you need to take baths in the ocean or spray yourself with salt water, and not the Himalayan salt water that is got radiation. That's radiant. Be careful of the salt, because that's why all of the salt is being taken off the shelves. Do you see all the salt, the Celtic salt? The Celtic salt is being taken because that's a salt that's helpful. You need to spray your crowns and keep salt on you at all times, and spray demons off of people. Okay, especially now Halloween, people have attachments to them. I would just walk around with Florida water and salt water and spritz those mofos. That's your lifesaver. remember like the super soakers? Salt water in that mother freaker. Spritz them. You know what I'm saying? Salt matters. Okay. You need to make sure you take salt baths. And I'm talking about not that Epsom salt. Epsom salt is compromised, y'all. That's why they promote it all the time. You need to take Dead Sea salt. Anywhere where there's Dead Sea salt and salt that isn't, and especially not from the United States, because all the salt here is compromised. Anytime you have too much chemtrails and anything, it's been compromised, okay? Spray those suckers. Make sure you're giving your baby's bath with salt. And sea stars, stop with your hair weaves and so on. You need to get your hair wet. A lot of times what happens too, you don't realize when people get mounted, any of our occultists on here, big up to all our occultists in the house. All of those voodooans and Zhongajans and Obians and Santarians and Wiccans and wizards and all you people in here, whatever you are. You do know that spirits will mount you. And what people don't realize, especially women of color, or women generally, because all you women get your hair done, you don't want to get your hair wet. Y'all will go in the ocean. Listen, Brazil, it was pissing me off in certain places. Not in the far Bahia, but like people would go on the beach and they would just take pictures, and it was so shallow. That's how you know some of them are NPCs. They wouldn't get their hair wet. That's what the whole thing with the baptism is. What do they do with baptism? They would dunk in the whole body under the water. You know why?
because it was getting off the spirits. The spirits will generally stay up here. They mount on your shoulders, right? You ever see the movie with that girl with the hair, the creepy hair, the Japanese one? What was the Japanese one? What was the Japanese movie? It was really scary. Like she had her hair on her face. It was really creepy. What was it called again? And she would have that, and at the end, the guy took a picture and she was mounted on his shoulders. What's that one again? I forgot the name of it. I forgot the name of that. What was the name of that movie? The Ring. Listen to the name, The Ring, y'all. The Ring. The Grudge? Was it The Grudge? Oh, it's The Grudge or The Ring? I don't know. It's one of them. The Grudge. Okay? She was on his shoulders. So I always tell mommies, you know, with the little ones, you need to give your babies a bath and wet their hair. Their whole face and everything has to be in, because entities will stay on the shoulder. Especially right now, we got the veil open for Halloween. Halloween. It means to wean the hollow. They're weaning the things out of the hollow of the earth. So right now, you got to be careful with, you know, when I see sea stars going to the beach and they get their hair braided and all that stuff and they won't put their head in the water, you got demons on you, especially if you're drinking wine and spirits. If you didn't make that wine and spirits, that's why they make it illegal for you to make wine and spirits. You know what I'm saying? How come you can't make it? Because you put your own ancestors on those elixirs. You know that, right? So your uncle who liked to drink, but he loved you and your family, he was dedicated, he was just a drunk. He could be a part of the infusion when you make your wine and spirits. It's illegal to do so. It's illegal to do so. But when you make it, you infuse your own spirits on it. That's why they don't want you to make it. That's why moonshine tastes different than when you get it from a distillery, where they're putting all kinds of dark entities. They're putting a vibration in there, sound vibration. They're embedding it with their spirits. That's why when you see people drinking Hennessy, they all act alike. They have all the same spirit on them. When people drink a certain kind of vodka, well, that's why all you fake celebrities like Sean Combs, you know, you got Snoop Doggy Dogg, they all have their own liquors. They're imbuing their spirits and their demons on you. If you made it yourself, you wouldn't have that. You would have your own ancestors on it. That's why they make it illegal. Okay? So when you go on vacation, come on. When you go on vacation and you're going and you're drinking someone else's spirit, then all of a sudden you have all these entities attached to your auric field, because beings that are incarnate, they still crave earthly carnal things. So they'll latch on to people to imbue themselves on people's auric field. And when you drink and do drugs, you basically make it very difficult. Come on. Come on. Lola. Okay. So basically you make it very difficult because these things are attached to you. And then when you go to the ocean, some of you go to beautiful ocean vacations and never put your head in the water. All you do is take little baths and take pictures and selfies. It's so shallow. Why do you go on vacation and take selfies of yourself? You dress up, you put full on makeup, you do makeup tutorials, you put fake hair, all that stuff that you can't even get wet. Then you wonder why you're having nightmares. You wonder why you're getting involved with low field NPCs that are just using your body as like a bio toilet. Like you wonder why. Is because you are basically ladling yourself with all kinds of imbuing yourself with these low vibrational demons, and then you won't even clear them off by getting in the ocean, clearing them off. I'm telling you, sea stars, I know this for a fact, and sun stars, if you ever have low vibrational people that are in your lives, go and dip yourself into the ocean head all and watch what happens. They won't be able to engage with you. If you're going to drink wine and spirits, you definitely should be able to clear yourself off. Hey. Come on. So just be careful with that. So if you want to clear yourself off, by all means, go into the ocean and dip yourself into the ocean. Head just like baptism. Dip your whole head in there, swim in the ocean. That's why you don't have demonic possession at the beach. How many demonic possessions do you see people living by the beach where salt water is? You won't see it because it doesn't exist. People who go swimming, surfers, people who swim all the time, demonic possession isn't in their life because salt water clears them. The same reason why you put salt to clear your spaces. Once you swim in salt water, it clears it. Okay. And demons will sit on your shoulders knowing that even if you got water all the way down here, they'll stay on you. They mount you from the top. So swimming in the ocean clears that. Okay. And taking salt water, like right now during Halloween season, where people are being infested with all kinds of demonic possession, it's very important to use a spritzer with Dead Sea salt and spritzing the energy around your head, your children's head. If you have babies right now, make sure you're bathing them head to toe in salt water and Florida water. Keep them clear because energies like to attach, especially Rudolph of Germany was talking about a lot of people are trying to kidnap and hurt the babies and children and women. Clear yourself and clear the babies. I would walk around with salt water. I do. And if you see somebody who's representing some sort, they start glitching, they start pop rocking. They have like succubus, incubus, pop rocking. They start pop rocking, spray them. Salt water. Okay? Okay? Make sure salt matters, okay? Salt water matters. And it isn't that, and all the pink Himalayan salt that they're projecting on you, that they keep telling you to have salt water. They want you to keep putting Himalayan salt water because Himalayan sea salt is compromised. It's got radiation on it. Okay. And for those of you who are imbued in religion, you know you're spelled, right? So every time you do religious bantering and you say things that are religious from books that were meant to cap your mind, every time you do that, you spell yourself and you ground yourself here. So it makes it you dome yourself in this reality. Thank you, Lance Ward. I appreciate it. Pop rocket. Could you imagine someone has a succubus, incubus pop rocket? Boop, boop, boop. Spray them. And if you want to engage with anyone sexually, y'all, you need to clear them. You need to make sure you feed them like I do. Feed your lovers. Feed them healthy, high vibrational food. You shouldn't let anyone put his semen inside of you, sea stars. Sea men. Do you understand? Semen. If they're eating and drinking, if they're drinking wine and spirits from, especially a being like Snoop Doggy Dogg has wines and spirits. He's drinking that. You got all kinds. You got Snoop Dogg. Your yoni will start singing Snoop Dogg and Dogg. You look at your yoni like, oh my God, what's happening? Woo, 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 woo. Your yoni will be barking. Okay, make sure, clean him, then clean yourself. Snoop Dogg and you hear that song coming out your yoni, you need to exercise it. Go the freak in the ocean and soak out your yoni. Snoop Dogg and Dogg. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. Go in the ocean, y'all. Y'all need to clear it out, okay? So I'm just saying, if you hear an alarm go off in your yoni, you've gone too far. You're like, beep, beep. Like a low rider in there. Oh, snap. You got a low rider in there. You know what I'm saying? Okay? So just be careful. Because like I said, semen, they carry demons on them. Sperm can carry entities on them. Children can have attachments based on someone's low vibration. So sun star is the same for you. Her yoni might look like a beautiful kitty, and meanwhile, it's like a freaking werewolf. It might bite you. So make sure you don't put your wand in the wrong, entry point. You might think it looks cute, like meow, and next thing go, rah, 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 rah. You know what I mean? So be careful with your wands too. You know what I mean? Clear her off. Make sure she's, juicing and she's taking salt baths, and you want to make sure, you can even go down there and do a little like wet little splash thing with her. So like, baby, I want to play with you. Take a look. I like to play with like spritzers. You know what I mean? Go spritz her yoni. Make sure all the demons, you might see like hands coming out of there. Look, it's Halloween season. A whole hand comes out of her yoni. Like, oh, hey, dude, what's, you know, the next guy, the guy's semen has like manifested a hand and comes out to shake your hand. You know, basically spritzer. Hey, guy. Dawn of the Dead. Oh my God. You know, my mother doesn't know. Don't tell my mother I do things like this because I get in trouble. My mom thinks it's so inappropriate. Could you imagine? I'm so Creole in this way. So inappropriate what I say. I'm so sorry. I told you I was going to be inappropriate. I told you if you get triggered, if you're into Jesus and all that kind of crazy thing, I will ruin your peace of mind, okay? So be careful doing religious things like that and, you know. I'm sorry. Some of you say I need Jesus. Jesus would be enlightened. Yo, give her a douche. Like, douche her with some salt water. Remember back in the days, how come they don't tell you to douche with salt water anymore? Remember your grandmother and aunt? Don't tell me, Generation X, I know, listen, we know best because we have aunties and moms and grandmothers. Do not tell my mother I said this. Remember they used to have those tube things in the bathroom? Remember that? Remember those tube things they used to have in the bathroom with those big weird douches? They look like freaking water. We thought they were water guns. Remember that? Like we were putting water and squishing them. It's disgusting, right? Remember, you go to your auntie house. What are those douches? How come they don't have women do that anymore? You ever notice that? There are those things. Remember, y'all? You go in the bathroom. You think it's like a water balloon. You just like pump it up with water. You don't even know what it was for. I was putting stuff in there. They were like, we thought it was toys in there. It was like, oh, we got a tube party in here, yo. Remember that? But in it itself, do you remember that women were using that at the time? How come they aren't suggesting women use those anymore? You got to really think they want demons to infest your wombs, okay? So it's important for everyone to make sure that you basically, even with men, and I'm talking to men too, because sun stars, I got to give advice. I give advice to our sea stars, but really have the women, if you want to engage with her. I mean, listen, if, you know, there's no children here. Let me give a warning because I'm just about to go left. Listen, if there's children, put your earbuds on because I'm about to say things that are probably inappropriate. So just put the earbuds on now because I'm about to go left, okay? Okay, so it's important, sun stars. I'm going to give you a suggestion. You don't have to do it. I'm Creole. You know, remember, I come from a culture where sex isn't a big deal for us. We really talk about it with a healthy perspective. You know, this is one thing that you do have as a perk to me. Sometimes it may disgust you if you have any like idiosyncrasies when it comes to sex. But sun stars, let me give you a little advice. Probably you don't want the advice, but I'm going to help you out because some of you are sleeping with demons of mass destruction or women who have multiple incubus all inside of her womb. Okay, so I'm going to give you, if you really like her, you vetted her out, she maybe needs a little tweaking and twerking. Okay, so if you want to engage with her, you're feeling, make sure her BBL is, she doesn't have BBL, but that's on you. I'm just trying to help you out so you aren't affecting yourself. Just get yourself a really sexy looking douche, you know, put her name on it, you know, put like bedazzle a little bit, like the water, you know, the water bottle itself, like make it look all fluffy, and because, you know, women like to engage with that. Tell her you'd like to stimulate her a little bit before you go down there, okay? You take it, make sure you have salt water, you know, make sure you say positive things because water can be changed with frequency. Make sure you put salt water, put a little dash bit because you don't want to burn inside of her. There's a dash of maybe Florida water, not too much, just a dash, okay? Talk to her, talk to the yoni, say, listen, I want to talk to your yoni. I want to get to know her, okay? I just want to get to know your yoni before I enter into that agreement with her. And she'll let you, because most women are being so neglected by males. She'll be happy that you want to talk to her. She doesn't even talk to her yoni, god darn it. You go down there, you talk to her yoni, say, hey, it's nice to meet you. You know, I just want to see how you are. I just want to see, oh, you know, can I just, and then you take your little water bottle that's in bedazzle. She'll think it's pretty. Make sure, say, listen, can I just, you know, help you out a little bit? You put it in, you spritz her, you squeeze all that salt in there, and you're good. She'll think it's foreplay. You know what I mean? Many sun stars aren't even doing foreplay anymore. I'm sorry. I might have to take this video down. I'm out of control. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to help everybody out. I'm sorry. My mind's telling me yes. Some of you sun stars need to talk to our yonis. You know, they have personalities too. I'm just saying, if it's bedazzled, she might let you do it. I'm trying to help everybody out. Don't get mad at me. It's the coffee. Listen, I'm trying to help. The sun stars are sticking their things in anything. They think the BBLs are like a taster test. I mean, I'm just saying, I would just, if you wanna engage, at least you clear it out for yourself. You just bedazzle it. Girls like everything that's pretty. I mean, gosh darn it. Clear her out. You're going to put your wand in there. Then you're going to have infestation of all kinds of succubus, incubus attached to your wand. You try to wash it off with regular tap water. That sucker is like, you got little like pop lockers on top of your wand like this. Like, what? You want that? I'm trying to help you out. You need to share this. Okay? This is adult conversation. I make jokes about it, but y'all, but you understand what I mean. It's just people are walking around here with attachments on them. You need to clear this out. And this is a simulation, but when your balls are itching and you got pop rockers dancing on the end of your balls, then it's very difficult to be in a simulation that's a nightmare. Okay? All right, I'll change the subject. I'm sorry. Let me reintroduce my name is FleurBrun. I'm from Mount Vernon, New York. I have a very interesting point of view, and I am Creole. So it is what it is. And I'm a triple Sag. I should give you like a little bit of a preamps, but I think sometimes you like it when it's straight. Okay. So, all right. So we're in the final stages of, how much coffee have you had today? Did you see my cup? Too much. I'm gonna drink a lot of water though. I have my water here. This is not Voss. I have my water here, so I'm good. I'm gonna drink a whole lot of water, okay? Okay, I'm sorry. Let's change the subject, okay? I've gone left. Why did this happen? How come you let me do this? I'm sorry. Like, sometimes you gotta reel me back. Sometimes I go too far. Oh, the salt, you should use, Celtic salt is great. I personally think you should be bathing with Dead Sea salt, pure Dead Sea salt. Okay? So it's very important for you to clear off. Everyone should be clearing themselves with salt. I would carry salt water with you and spritz. I make sure my children are all sprayed with salt. Okay? I know it sounds crazy, but you'll realize when you're walking in the world, there are less things that can attach to you with salt. Even the Jamaicans, during the whole cucarachas, they were soaking their mass in salt, and the pathogens weren't able to permeate. They would just kill the pathogens. Doing salt clearing helps. You put salt in your nose. It clears out parasites too. It clears the parasites off of your auric field. Okay, and then if you take the positivity with the water that you imbue at a higher frequency and you have the higher salt, then gosh darn it, you basically have an expeller. Okay, during the whole zombie apocalypse, I think you should have super soakers with like salt water, like super salt, super salt soakers. All right, so this is the end game. So I think I'm done. I think I've totally ruin the conversation about that. Sometimes staying on here too long will do it. I think what I'm going to try to do is play the old video live for you guys after this. All right. Any more questions tonight? We'll be on Werebee. We aren't Zoomies anymore. We're Werebees. We'll be on Werebee tonight.
I am confusing a person, can't tell what color I am. Why do you have to know what color somebody is? Unless it has to do with like frequencies or something like that. Any other questions? Yeah. I went too far. It's a very interesting conversation. So we'll be on Werebeat tonight. We'll be on 7 o'clock Central, because I'm in Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. You can join via Patreon or Coffee. Okay, so we will be on tonight. We're going to talk about the craziness in the world with the holographic. Oh, this is like this finale is off the chain, y'all. The holographic reality is crazy. This finale might be the best finale we've ever witnessed, but we got to be prepared. Okay, so anyway, y'all. Oh, happy pre-birthday, Cashmere Jones. Cashmere Jones, I like your name. Happy pre-birthday. Thanks from Sweden. Sweden's in the house. Okay, anyway, y'all. Yes, because today is Tuesday. Well, Tuesday is for the tier 25 and 13 is for Thursday. Anyway, I'm going to try to play the rest of the video for you. Thank you for joining. I do, like I said, I always apologize for, you know, sometimes going over the edge, you know what I mean? And I'll try to play it. If I can't, I'll just upload it differently. I just, you know, I'm trying to work on my technology because I'm in the simulation. It would be helpful. So if you want to join us tonight, do join. We'll be talking about multiple things, including all these activated super soldiers that are being activated now and what they're doing with the prescriptions. We're going to talk about that tonight because Walgreens is up for the shenanigans, okay? And then we're going to talk about the dissemination of the because I think really in itself, we'll talk about the February activation or the March for activation. Anyway, we'll figure it out tonight. So thank you everybody for joining. Again, I love the conversation. If you have anything you'd like to add to the NPCs, living in a hologram, do you think it's true? Do you not? What do you say? Just share. I love your opinions. I always value your opinions. Just be respectful. Respectful doesn't mean that you aren't able to share. I'm one of the channels where I really respect and honor your opinions, as long as it isn't something that's being harmful to someone else or being disrespectful. Disrespectful means like you're calling people names, you're being really nasty. You can share your opinion without being nasty or rude. That's all. I'm okay with that. So do share your opinions, and please let me know if you can access the live afterwards, the comments. They don't let anyone access the comments, which I don't understand. Well, yeah, I do understand, because we have some fire up in the lives here, you know, like the comments. I think they don't want anybody reading it. Anyway, y'all, I will talk to you later. Thank you for joining, and peace. Snoop Dogg.